Hi guys! Today's market garden update is going to be all about my seedlings. So on my last market garden update, I had just planted seeds in soil blocks in the greenhouse. So let's take a look at the progress from then until now. I've been working a lot of hours, and so I haven't been moving the seed trays outside, and we did have a couple days where it got kind of hot in the greenhouse. So I'm hopeful that I didn't kill the seeds. I don't know if they can germinate like if it gets too hot. So I'm gonna go check it out. Okay, so here's the peppers, the lavender peppers, and it looks like they're starting to germinate. I planted these the same time I planted the lettuce. So there's 3 little ones sprouting up. So far that's it out of all of those. The melons and the tomatoes haven't been in here as long. I don't see anything germinating yet. The other bell peppers. Let's take a look at our lettuce. So our lettuces are coming along okay. The ones that have come up. Oh, and I see some that are just starting to sprout. Let me show you over here. So maybe we'll get some more germination. I think I'm going to need to start moving these out of here during the day. I've been having to leave real early, and so I haven't been doing it. We went away to Louisiana this weekend. Chris's grandmother celebrates her 90th birthday tomorrow, and we had a family gathering. It was fantastic, lots of fun. She's an amazing woman. She still lives independently. She does all her own cooking and cleaning. That woman has more fashion sense than I've ever had. She's still active in her church and teaches a Sunday school class. And I think the only thing that she no longer does is drive. But she's just a powerhouse of a woman. And I love her to death. I'm so glad that I get to call her family. And while we were there, we had somebody house sitting. And they were to take care of my seedlings and my in the greenhouse and outside of it. But it was a teenage boy, and I think he just, I didn't leave detailed instructions. I basically just had him water and move the plants in and out. But when I came back, the seed trays were kind of dry, and I don't know if that's because it was so hot, or if since he was using a mister, he didn't realize he needed to water them longer. I don't know. So I'm not upset with him by any means. I just, lesson learned, I need to give better, more detailed instructions next time. So they're over here in the garden today drying out because it's entirely too hot in the greenhouse. So I have come up with a solution. Hey, look, somebody's here. Chris is here, and both the dogs have run to meet him. They're so happy he's home. So I think pretty much all my plants, like my lettuce, are just kind of hanging in there. There's the lettuce. They're doing okay. Nothing else. I had some little pepper sprouts, and I don't see them anymore. So here's my plan. Since I don't have shade cloth, but I have this roll window screen, I thought I could put one edge of it between these 2 bales of hay, straw, and one edge of it between those 2 bales of straw, and kind of create a little shaded area right here. But first let me water them real good. I don't know if there's any coming back from this. I may have to end up buying plants, but I'm going to give it a go and see what happens. sprinkle water, shall we? So you guys let me know, what do you think, if this will work or not? Good morning, everyone. I am out here. That's the moon. I'm watering the garden by moonlight this morning because everybody in the house is working early and it's gonna be hot today. So you do what you gotta do, right? All right, everybody, have a great day. Today's the first day the seedlings or seed trays were under the window screen out there in the garden. So let's go take a look and see how they did. The lettuce seedlings that have come up look like they're springing back to life. I gave all of these trays a really good watering last night and again this morning. So I'm going to check their moisture level and see. They look pretty dry still. Yeah, they're dry. So I'm going to give them another good watering now. If I can find the lavender bell peppers, which are over here, they had a couple sprouts coming up and it looks like they're also doing okay. So let me just keep watering and I hope that what hasn't come up yet will, as I continue to water these morning and evening, at least on the really hot days. We had really bad storms yesterday, and so I've moved them back into the greenhouse for a couple days, but they're going back into the garden tomorrow. But things are starting to grow that weren't growing before, so let's take a close-up look. Here are some of the tomato plants, and almost all of them are coming up. I don't know if you can see it. They're a little bit hard to see, but look at this. Almost every one is coming up. There's some. The ones that are opening, that are a little bit older, they're a little easier to see. So I'm really pleased with these. Then my lettuces, more lettuce are coming up. So I'm going to keep watering. Looks like I'm ready to transplant these guys pretty soon. They're getting big for the blocks. Okay, let's look in here. Okay, so watermelon. Lots of watermelon coming up. My lavender peppers. I've got a few that are starting to come up, but not all. None of my California Wonder peppers yet. So I'm going to keep watering and see what happens there. And over here are my cucumbers. So I've got maybe about half that are up so far. And then I can see, if I get down low, that even more are starting to poke out. So I'll have a good selection of cucumbers. And then these are the solar flare tomatoes. And there's one. There's one. Yay! Two. Let's see. Oh, wait. It's kind of hard to tell. 3. So we've got about 3 or 4 tomato plants. Alright, let me get these guys watered. And then in the morning I'll move them back out into the garden. And I'm happy because I was afraid some of these might be a total loss. But it looks like I'm going to have at least partial germination on everything. Well, maybe, except for my peppers. Nothing there yet. But there's still time. Okay. Here we go. Here are our atomic tomatoes. These are the grape tomatoes. They are about, what, 1.5 inches? Like up to my knuckle, just past my first knuckle there. Almost 100% germination on this tray. This second tray, these are the solar flare tomatoes. Now remember, these didn't come up. I planted these first and they got too hot and didn't come up, but then I revived them out here. These are about the same height. Also almost 100% germination. The lettuce, which were planted the same time as those, came up first, but so far it looks like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rows. Looks like just over 50% germination. So I don't know if it's because of the conditions. I'm guessing it's probably because of the conditions, but next year I might plant extra. And I think I'm going to transplant these two very soon so we can start harvesting some of this lettuce. But we do have little baby starts coming up right there. Okay, let's go around and look at the other side. Okay. These are the watermelon seeds. And it looks like about, I'm just guessing by numbers, I've got, well, 4 rows, so 75% germination on the watermelon. And I'm not sure when to transplant them. I'm going to have to look that up. We can give these guys on this end a little more water. They might be dried out from being on the edge. So I'll probably turn them in towards the other tray and then hope they come up. These are the cucumbers. And we still have some cucumbers just starting to come up. So I would say at this point also close to a 75% germination. Not too bad. These guys are pretty tall, about 2 knuckles. Same thing with these. That's real precise measuring, isn't it? So watermelon and cucumbers are about the same rate of growth. Here are my lavender peppers, which were also planted the same day as the lettuce. And these were some of the ones that got dried out and too hot as well. And so here I've got, man, a lot planted, but not much germination. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plants out of this whole flat. So maybe like a 20% germination rate. And these guys are still real little. There he is, just barely up to my first knuckle. And that's really about the tallest one there. Oh look, here's another little sweet guy peeking out. So I'm gonna keep watering and, oh, and I see some more green showing behind this one. So I think they're liking it under the screen. I think they're doing well. I'm gonna have to read up on peppers though too, because like I showed you guys a little bit earlier in yesterday's video, nothing out of my bell peppers. So obviously whatever conditions I did were not right for peppers. But everything else is looking pretty good. So I'm pretty happy. I'm gonna get these guys back under the shade. I just took them out to show you and give them a nice good drink of water before bedtime. So the idea is that the window screen over the seed trays will help diffuse the harsh light, give them some shade during the day so they won't get so hot and dried out. Well, things are going good. Things are growing. I'm very happy about that. But I have had some frustration because I feel like I'm chasing the gardening season. It took us a while to have enough funds to put our greenhouse together and get the hotbed in it and get the seeds planted. And by the time we did, the weather had started to warm up and there were just a couple more cold nights. And then really quickly it got too hot in the greenhouse. So it's kind of like, what did I do that for? But at the same time, I just have to remind myself that I'm putting systems in place. And so next year, when early spring comes around and it's time to get things going, I'll be set. I'll already have the tools I need. I'll have the structures I need. And so that kind of helps me to not get too frustrated and overwhelmed with, I feel like I'm behind in everything I'm doing this year. But things are growing, so I'm happy about that. So thanks for coming along on today's video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. Please share me with other people and hit that bell so you'll be notified when new videos come out. And as always, I am very open to constructive criticism or advice or suggestions. So please, I love to see your comments and I try to respond back, usually within a couple hours, but if not, within 24 hours. So have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll see you on the next update.